Hello, dear members of the Soul Stories family. Today we will bring you a romantic love story, so let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any meaningful stories. The spring afternoon in Willow Creek, Vermont is as beautiful as a vivid painting. The gentle blue sky stretches wide, dotted with delicate wisps of white clouds, the air carrying the faint scent of lilacs and freshly cut grass. The small town, nestled among lush green hills and whispering pine forests, buzzes with the excitement of a wedding. Today is the wedding of Amelia Hart and James Caldwell, an event considered the highlight of the season. The old stone church, draped in ivy, is awash in the white of roses and tulle, while guests in pastel dresses and elegant suits chatter lively on the lawn. Inside the cramped dressing room of the church, Amelia Hart stands before a large mirror, her reflection that of a perfect bride in a pristine white wedding gown. The dress, a masterpiece of lace and silk, hugs her form before flaring into a long, shimmering train under the soft light. Her auburn hair is elegantly pinned up, adorned with a delicate veil. She should be radiant, the bride every girl dreams of being. But Amelia's brown eyes are red-rimmed, her lips trembling, her hands gripping the edge of the wooden table to steady herself. 30 minutes ago, everything fell apart. Amelia slipped away from the festive chaos to retrieve her mother's pearl earrings from the car, hoping a moment of quiet would soothe the storm in her heart. Instead, she overheard a conversation that cut through her like a knife. James, her fiancé, and Lily, her best friend, stood behind the church, their voices low but unmistakable. "I told you, Lily, it was just a mistake," James said, his voice urgent. "Just one night. Amelia doesn't need to know." Lily's laugh was sharp, bitter. "You think she'd still walk down the aisle if she knew you were in bed with me 3 months ago? God, James, you're such a coward." Amelia stood frozen, her heart plummeting. The earrings slipped from her hand, clattering onto the sidewalk. James and Lily didn't notice. They were too caught up in their argument, casually rewriting her future without her consent. 3 months ago, the night James said he had to work late. The night Lily canceled their movie plans, claiming a headache. The betrayal wasn't just a moment, it was a lie they both concealed, smiling to her face while stabbing her in the back. Now standing before the mirror, Amelia feels the walls closing in. The organ's notes drift through the closed door, signaling the start of the ceremony. Her mother's gentle voice calls from the hallway. "Amelia, sweetheart, it's time." The words tighten around her throat like a noose. She can't do this. She can't walk down the aisle, vow her life to a man who shattered her trust, or smile at Lily, who stood by her through every milestone only to betray her. Her hands move before her mind can stop them. She yanks the veil from her hair, pins scattering across the floor. The door flies open, and she bolts, past her mother's startled gasp, past the bridesmaids adjusting their bouquets, past the ushers turning in confusion. The church doors loom ahead, and she shoves them open, blinding sunlight flooding her vision. Guests turn, murmurs rippling like waves. But Amelia doesn't stop. Her dress drags across the grass, catching on stones, tearing at the hem. She kicks off her heels, one tumbling into a flower bed, the other lost in her stride. Her lungs burn, her eyes blur with tears, but she keeps running, down the church steps, through the town square, toward the open road. The highway stretches beyond Willow Creek, a ribbon of asphalt bordered by wildflowers and pine forests. Amelia's bare feet pound the pavement, her breath ragged. The dress, once a symbol of her dreams, is now a tattered burden, snagging with every step. She doesn't know where she's going, only that she can't go back, not to James, not to Lily, not to the life she thought was hers. A sharp screech of tires snaps her from her daze. She stumbles, catching herself on the ground as a sleek black SUV brakes just steps away. The driver's door opens and a man steps out, his sharp silhouette striking against the sunset. He's tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a perfectly tailored navy suit that radiates wealth. His dark hair is slightly tousled, as if he's run his hands through it too many times. And his eyes, storm gray and piercing, lock onto her with an intensity that stops her cold. "Are you trying to get yourself killed?" he calls, his deep voice laced with concern and irritation. He takes a step forward, and Amelia instinctively steps back, clutching the torn fabric of her dress. I'm fine, she stammers, though her trembling voice betrays her. She must look pathetic. Mascara streaked down her cheeks, hair falling loose, a barefoot bride on the side of the highway. The man raises an eyebrow, clearly unconvinced. He glances at her dress, then back to her face, his expression softening. You don't look fine, and you're definitely not dressed for a marathon. He pauses, eyeing the empty road behind her. Running from something, or someone. Amelia chokes up. She wants to snap at him, tell him to mind his own business. But the words won't come. Instead, a sob escapes, and she covers her mouth, turning away. The entire day, James's betrayal, Lily's cruelty, the suffocating pressure of the wedding, crashes over her like a tidal wave. Hey, the man says softly, stepping closer. He doesn't touch her, but his presence is steady, like an anchor. You don't have to tell me anything, but standing out here alone, looking like you just escaped a fairy tale gone wrong, it's not safe. Amelia wipes her tears, forcing herself to meet his gaze. Up close, he's even more striking. High cheekbones, a chiseled jaw, and eyes that seem to see through her defenses. There's something else too, a hint of sadness beneath his confidence, as if he understands her pain more than he lets on. I can't go back, she whispers, her voice barely audible. I can't. I don't want to. He nods, as if her words are all he needs to hear. Without another word, he shrugs off his suit jacket and drapes it over her shoulders. The fabric is warm, smelling of cedar and something expensive, enveloping her like a shield against the world. Then don't, he says simply. He tilts his head toward the SUV. Come with me. At least until you figure out what's next. Amelia stares at him, her mind reeling. She doesn't know this man. He could be anyone. A con artist, a creep, or worse. But there's something in his voice, a quiet sincerity that makes her want to trust him. And where else can she go? Back to the church, to face James's lies and her mother's disappointment, to the apartment where Lily's perfume still lingers from their last movie night. She has nothing, no phone, no wallet, no plan. Why are you helping me, she asks, her voice sharp with suspicion. He gives a small smile, the sound low and warm, catching her off guard. Let's say I'm a sucker for damsels in distress. Or maybe I'm just bored. He leans in, his voice dropping like he's sharing a secret. If you want to keep running, I'm happy to be your getaway driver. Your call, Runaway Bride. The nickname stings, but his teasing tone softens the blow. For the first time all day, Amelia feels a faint smile tug at her lips. It's absurd, standing on a highway, wrapped in a stranger's jacket, considering climbing into his car. But the alternative is worse. Fine, she says at last, her voice steadier. But if you're a serial killer, I'll be really mad. He laughs, the sound echoing in the quiet evening. Fair enough. By the way, I'm Liam Grayson. He opens the passenger door, gesturing for her to get in. And you are? Amelia, she says, hesitating before adding, Amelia Hart. Well, Amelia Hart, Liam says, his eyes glinting with something she can't name. If you're running, I'm happy to be your accomplice. She slides into the passenger seat, the leather cool against her skin. As Liam closes the door and walks around to the driver's side, Amelia glances at the road, half expecting to see James or her mother chasing after her. But the highway is empty, stretching into the distance like a promise of something new. Liam starts the car, the engine purring smoothly. So, he says, glancing at her with a playful smile, where to, runaway bride? Amelia leans back, clutching his jacket tightly. For the first time in hours, she feels a flicker of safety, like she can breathe again. Anywhere, she says softly. Anywhere but here. As the car rolls down the highway, the setting sun bathes the hills in gold, and Amelia Hart, the runaway bride, begins a journey she never imagined. The SUV glides smoothly along the highway, the sunset casting a golden glow over Vermont's hills. Inside, the warm interior contrasts with the chilly breeze outside. Amelia Hart huddles in the passenger seat, Liam Grayson's suit jacket still draped over her shoulders, partially covering her tattered wedding dress. She clutches her arms tightly, her gaze drifting out the window where pine trees blur past like a faded film reel. The engine's soft hum can't drown out her pounding heartbeat, a mix of panic and emptiness. Liam, hands on the wheel, occasionally glances at her. He hasn't spoken since they started driving, leaving a quiet space for Amelia to steady herself. But the silence doesn't last forever. As the last light of day begins to fade, he clears his throat, his voice low and gentle. "You okay, runaway bride?" he asks, a hint of teasing in his tone, though his gray eyes hold a trace of concern. Amelia turns to him, lips pressed tight. She wants to say she's fine, that she can handle this, but the words stick in her throat. Instead, she shakes her head, a tear rolling down her cheek. She wipes it away quickly, embarrassed to show weakness to a stranger. Liam frowns but doesn't press her. He reaches into the center console, pulls out a bottle of water, and hands it to her. "Drink this. You look like you just ran a marathon without a water break." She takes the bottle, her trembling fingers fumbling with the cap. A sip of cool water calms her slightly, but it can't erase the storm in her chest. "Thank you," she whispers, her voice hoarse. I don't know why I'm here. In your car. I don't even know who you are." Liam chuckles, a playful yet warm sound. "I told you, I'm Liam Grayson, reluctant chauffeur and expert in aiding runaway brides. And you, Amelia Hart, clearly have a story worth telling." He tilts his head, eyes glinting. "Want to share? I'm a pretty good listener, and I promise not to judge, unless you say you hate pizza. That's my hard line." Amelia lets out a small, surprised laugh, catching herself off guard. The smile fades quickly, but it lightens the heavy atmosphere. She looks down at her hands, fingers twisting together. Maybe talking will help. Maybe a stranger, someone who knows nothing about her, is a safe place to unload. I was supposed to get married today," she starts, her voice catching, "to James. He was everything I thought I wanted. Romantic, thoughtful, stable. But then," she pauses, taking a deep breath. "I overheard him and Lily, my best friend, talking. They were together 3 months ago. And they hid it from me, like I was some kind of joke." Tears spill again, and this time she doesn't try to stop them. "I couldn't stay. I couldn't walk down the aisle, pretending everything was fine. I just wanted to run, as far as I could." Liam listens without interrupting. When she finishes, he nods slightly, his eyes tinged with sadness. "That's a hell of a blow, Amelia," he says, his voice low. "I don't blame you for running. Some things you can't face head on." She wipes her tears, looking at him. "You don't think I'm crazy? Ditching my wedding, jumping into a stranger's car, with no idea where I'm going?" He grins, a wide smile revealing a dimple on his left cheek. "Crazy? Nah. Brave, maybe. Not everyone has the guts to walk away like that." He pauses, pretending to think. "But if you want to go full crazy, I can help. How about I step in as your groom to complete the package? I don't look half bad in a tux, you know." Amelia's eyes widen, incredulous. "You? What did you just say?" "You heard me," Liam shrugs, his face deadpan. "You need a groom. I'm free. Seems logical." He glances at her, the corner of his mouth twitching. "Kidding. But I will say, you look pretty when you smile. So let me get a few more of those out of you, deal?" She shakes her head, but a faint smile creeps through. There's something about Liam, his brazenness, his humor, and the sincerity behind his jokes, that makes her feel lighter, even if just a bit. "You're so weird," she says, her voice steadier. "Thank you," he replies, as if it's a compliment. "Now where are you headed? I can drop you at a hotel, a friend's place, or wherever you want." Amelia bites her lip. She has nowhere to go. A hotel? She has no wallet, no phone. Friends? Lily was her closest one, and just thinking of her makes Amelia want to scream. Back to her mom's? No, her mother would drag her back to James, insisting things will work out, but nothing is okay. I don't know," she admits, her voice tiny. "I have nothing. No plan, no anything." Liam looks at her, his gaze softening, as if he understands more than she said. Then I have a suggestion, he says, his tone more serious. Come with me. I just bought a villa not far from here, in the woods. It's not finished, but it's comfortable enough. You can stay there for a while, no pressure, no questions. Just a place to start over. Amelia blinks, stunned. You're inviting a stranger to your house? Aren't you worried I don't know, a thief or something? He laughs, the sound filling the car. You? A thief? In a torn wedding dress and barefoot? I'll take my chances. He turns to her, his eyes earnest. Seriously, Amelia, I don't know why, but I want to help you. Maybe because I've had days where everything fell apart, and I wish someone had offered me a way out. His words touch something deep inside her. There's a quiet sadness in his voice, as if he carries scars she can't see. She studies him, searching for any hint of deceit, but finds only sincerity and safety. With Liam, even after just minutes, she feels like she doesn't have to pretend to be strong. But why? She asks softly. Why are you doing this for me? He shrugs, a casual gesture that doesn't hide the depth in his eyes. Because sometimes strangers understand us best, and because I think we both need a chance to heal. Amelia falls silent, weighing her options. Staying with a stranger is insane, but going back to her old life is even crazier. Finally, she nods. Okay, but just for a few days. And if you turn this into a horror movie, I'm fighting back. Liam's grin lights up. Deal. And don't worry, I'm more into rom-coms than horror. The car turns onto a narrow road, winding deep into the forest. Tall trees block the moonlight, leaving only patches of shimmering light. After a few minutes, a villa emerges, a stone and wood structure, expansive yet rustic, as if it belongs to the forest. Liam parks and steps out to open her door. Welcome to your temporary hideout, he says, spreading his arms like a tour guide. No Wi-Fi, but you get fresh air and a ridiculously charming host. Amelia steps out, her bare feet touching the cold ground. She looks at the villa, then back at Liam, standing under the moonlight with his half-smile. She doesn't know what she's doing, but for the first time today, she feels a spark of hope. Liam leads her inside, flipping on the lights to reveal a warm, golden glow. The villa is unfinished, unopened boxes, the scent of fresh wood in the air. But it's beautiful, like a place to start anew. He guides her upstairs to a room with a large bed and a window overlooking the forest. Your room, he says. I'm down the hall. Call if you need anything. She nods, still clutching his jacket. Thank you, Liam. Really. He shrugs as if it's no big deal. Good night, runaway bride. The next morning, Amelia wakes to sunlight filtering through the curtains, birds chirping in the forest. She lies in bed feeling both strange and peaceful. But a sudden worry grips her. Her mother. She must be frantic, wondering where Amelia went after fleeing the wedding. She can't let her think she's vanished. She heads downstairs to the living room, spotting an old landline phone on a wooden table. Her fingers hover over the keypad, but she finally picks up and dials. Hello? Her mother's voice answers, trembling with worry. Who is this? Mom, it's me, Amelia says softly. I'm okay. Amelia, oh my God, where are you? Where did you go after you ran? I was worried sick. Her voice cracks, a mix of anger and relief. Amelia grips the receiver, tears welling. I'm sorry, Mom. I couldn't stay. James. He and Lily, they betrayed me. I overheard them talking about how they were together. I couldn't marry him after that. The line goes quiet for a moment, then her mother sighs. Oh, honey, I didn't know. I thought you were just panicking. Why didn't you tell me? I couldn't, Amelia whispers. I just had to run. And now, I'm somewhere safe. I just need time, Mom. Time to think, to figure things out. But where are you? Her mother asks, still anxious. Do you need me to come get you? No, Mom, Amelia says quickly. I'm fine, really. I'll call again, I promise. Just don't look for me right now. I need space to breathe. Her mother sighs but relents. Okay, but you have to call me regularly, Amelia. I love you. I love you too, Amelia says, then hangs up. She stands there staring at the phone, feeling both relieved and guilty. She knows her mother is worried, but she also knows she's not ready to go back. Not yet. When Liam walks in from the back door, carrying an armful of firewood, she quickly turns away, wiping her tears. He glances at her, his eyes perceptive but unquestioning, and says, "Ready for breakfast, or are you planning to let me starve?" She manages a weak smile, grateful he doesn't pry. "Breakfast," she replies, and they head to the kitchen, as if the call never happened. That night, Amelia stands at her room's window, gazing at the moonlit forest. Her heart still aches, but here, in this strange house with this strange man, she wonders if she can find peace again. It's just a tiny spark, but enough for her to close her eyes and hope. The Vermont pine forest glows in the early morning light, shimmering rays piercing the canopy and spilling onto Liam Grayson's wood and stone villa like a painting. Inside, the space is warm with the scent of fresh timber and a faint trace of smoke from the fireplace. The house, though unfinished with unpacked boxes and unpainted walls, exudes a rustic charm. For Amelia Hart, it's a temporary sanctuary, a world apart from the wreckage of the wedding she left behind. 3 days have passed since she climbed into Liam's SUV, leaving Willow Creek and its painful memories. 3 days in this villa, waking to bird song and soft light instead of an alarm clock or her mother's voice calling her to breakfast. But the strangest thing isn't the forest or the house, it's Liam, the man who's both a stranger and oddly familiar, with his mischievous smile and eyes that seem to see into her soul. This morning, Amelia stands in the kitchen, a spacious room with granite counters and oak cabinets. She's wearing a white shirt Liam gave her that first night, too big, with sleeves rolled up to reveal her slender wrists. The tattered wedding dress is folded away in a corner of her room, a memory she's not ready to face. She's trying to slice tomatoes, but the knife refuses to cooperate, slipping each time she presses down. "Good grief, are you cutting tomatoes or your fingers?" Liam's voice rings from the kitchen doorway, warm and teasing. He steps in, holding a coffee mug, his dark hair tousled like he just rolled out of bed. His casual sleepwear, a gray t-shirt and sweatpants, makes him seem more approachable than the polished suit he wore when they met. Amelia glances at him, trying to stay composed. "I know what I'm doing. Thank you very much." "Really?" Liam raises an eyebrow, stepping closer. He sets his mug on the counter, standing just behind her, close enough that she feels his warmth. "Because from where I'm standing, you're about to turn breakfast into a crime scene." She blushes, giving him a light shove. "If you're so great, why don't you do it?" Liam laughs, the sound echoing in the quiet kitchen. "Challenge accepted, runaway bride. Watch and learn." He takes the knife from her, his movements swift and confident. In minutes, he slices the tomatoes into thin, even rounds, then moves on to onions and bell peppers with a speed that leaves Amelia wide-eyed. "Where'd you learn to do that?" she asks, unable to hide her admiration. "Five-star restaurant," he says, deadpan. When she gives him a skeptical look, he winks. "Kidding. My mom was a chef. I grew up in the kitchen, though I'm better at eating than cooking." Amelia smiles, a sense of ease spreading through her. There's something about Liam, his effortless humor, his warmth, that makes her forget the heavy days behind her. But she keeps her guard up, afraid that letting herself relax too much will reopen her wounds. "All right, your turn," Liam says, sliding a skillet toward her. "Eggs, scramble them. You can handle that, right? Or do I need to teach you?" She huffs but grabs the bowl and whisk. They work together, the kitchen filling with laughter as Liam deliberately drops an egg and pretends to blame her. "See? You're distracting me," he says, while Amelia shakes her head, trying not to laugh. When breakfast is ready, scrambled eggs with vegetables and toast, they sit across from each other at the large wooden dining table. Sunlight streams through the window, illuminating Liam's face, highlighting his sharp features and deep gray eyes. Amelia catches herself staring longer than she should and quickly looks down at her plate, her heart racing. "So, Chef Hart?" Liam asks, biting into his toast. "How many points do I get?" 8 out of 10, she replies, keeping her tone playful. -2 for the egg-dropping incident." "Harsh," he groans, but his smile doesn't fade. Moments like these repeat over the next few days, forming a strange but comforting routine. Liam, with his shameless charm, finds ways to draw Amelia into lighthearted moments. One afternoon, when she's scrambling to find something to wear, he hands her another of his flannel shirts, saying with mock seriousness, "Consider it a loan. Payments one smile. Deal." She blushes, muttering a thank you, but can't deny the warmth of wearing his shirt, the familiar cedar scent wrapping around her. Liam teases her when she fumbles, like when she spills a can of paint while helping him touch up the hallway. "Trying to turn my house into abstract art?" he jokes, laughing as he helps wipe paint from her hands. But the most memorable moment comes one evening as they move an old armchair to the porch. Liam, pretending to slip, falls toward Amelia, and she instinctively catches him. He's heavier than she expects, and they nearly topple over. When she realizes he's laughing, she shoves him away, her face flushed. "You did that on purpose," she accuses, hands on her hips. "Me? On purpose? Never," Liam replies, but his sly grin gives him away. "Just testing your reflexes. You get an A, by the way." Amelia shakes her head, but can't stop smiling. Liam's silly antics are slowly chipping away at the wall she's built. He makes her laugh, makes her feel like more than a runaway bride, like someone who deserves to be happy. But Liam isn't always the carefree, joking man. In unguarded moments, Amelia catches glimpses of another side. One night she goes to the kitchen for water and sees him sitting alone by the fireplace, the flames casting shadows on his face. His eyes are distant, lost in some painful memory. He doesn't notice her, and she doesn't dare break the moment. There's a deep sadness in Liam, hidden beneath his bold exterior, that tugs at her heart. Another time, while reading on the couch, she looks up to find him watching her. His gaze is soft, thoughtful, as if he's trying to memorize her. When she catches him, he quickly looks away, coughing and muttering something about the weather. But that look lingers, making her wonder what he's hiding. Their chemistry grows through late-night talks. One rainy night, as the forest patters outside, they sit by the fireplace, sharing small stories. Amelia talks about her childhood, baking Christmas cookies with her mom. Liam shares memories of sailing with his dad, his voice softening as he mentions his father's death a few years ago. "Do you ever feel lost?" she asks quietly. "Like the world's moving, but you're stuck?" Liam looks at her, his gaze profound. "Yeah, but I learned sometimes being stuck is how you find a new path." His words resonate, and for the first time she feels less alone. Liam isn't just the man who saved her from the highway. He's becoming someone she trusts, someone who makes her want to open up. They work on the villa together, small tasks like painting walls or cleaning windows, becoming chances to grow closer. One day, while hanging an old chandelier, Liam stands close, their shoulders brushing, flustering her. "Careful, runaway bride," he whispers, his tone teasing. "You might make my heart skip a beat." She shoves him, face burning, but her heart races. She realizes she's starting to look forward to these moments. The teasing, the accidental touches, the quiet glances. But with the joy comes fear. James and Lily still haunt her. Can she trust again? Is Liam, with all his charm and sincerity, truly different? That night, Amelia sits on her bed, moonlight spilling through the window. She thinks of Liam, his smile, his sad eyes, the way he makes her feel worthy. Her heart stirs, a feeling both sweet and terrifying. She wants to move forward, to believe she deserves happiness. But the past looms like a shadow, whispering she'll be hurt again. She stands, stepping onto the small balcony off her room. The forest stretches before her, serene and mysterious. Somewhere in this house, Liam is awake, and the thought is both comforting and unsettling. She knows she's changing, opening up. But is she brave enough to embrace what's coming? 10 days have passed since Amelia Hart stepped into Liam Grayson's forest-bound Vermont villa. Each day, the lush greenery and the rustic warmth of the house soothe her wounded heart a little more. The morning bird song, the scent of burning wood from the fireplace, and Liam's presence, his cheeky jokes and soul-piercing eyes, have become familiar parts of her new life. But even as she begins to feel safe, a cautious part of her remains. wary that this fragile happiness is only temporary. That morning, Amelia sits in the living room, curled up on the old armchair she and Liam had dragged to the porch days ago. Sunlight streams through the large window, glinting off the polished wood floor. She holds an old, worn romantic novel from the shelf, but her mind isn't on the pages. She's thinking of Liam, his ability to make her laugh, the way he looks at her with a mix of tenderness and sorrow, as if he too carries unspoken secrets. Liam enters holding an iPad, his relaxed figure clad in a deep green t-shirt and jeans. "Pretty lazy this morning, runaway bride," he teases, plopping onto the chair across from her. "What's got you so engrossed? Don't tell me it's some sappy romance novel. I'd be disappointed." Amelia shoots him a mock glare, her lips twitching. "Maybe I like sappy, better than that iPad of yours. Are you a workaholic or something, always glued to it?" He chuckles, shrugging. "Not exactly work, just checking a few things. Want to see?" He hands her the iPad as if it's a casual joke. She takes it, intending to hand it back, but a headline on the screen stops her cold. It's an article from a business news site, the bold text reading, "Liam Grayson, the mysterious billionaire behind an investment empire." Below it is a photo of Liam in a sharp black suit, standing before a New York skyscraper, his gaze intense and cold. Nothing like the man sitting across from her, grinning like a kid. Amelia blinks, skimming the article. Staggering figures. Billions of dollars, global investment deals, a reclusive figure shunning the spotlight. She looks up at Liam, who's pretending to fuss with his coffee mug but is clearly watching her reaction. You're a billionaire?" she asks, unable to hide her shock. "Not just rich, but a real billionaire?" Liam shrugs, unfazed. "I like to think of myself as a regular guy with a slightly oversized bank account. No big deal." "No big deal?" Amelia's eyes widen. "You didn't say anything. I thought you were just, I don't know, someone who bought this house for a getaway or something. Not someone running an empire." He laughs, the sound filling the quiet room. "What, you thought I was some drifter picking up runaway brides for fun? I've got to have something to balance out this natural charm." He winks, but when he sees her still staring, he sighs, his expression softening. "All right, fine. I didn't tell you everything. But that whole billionaire thing, it's not as important to me as you might think." Amelia sets the iPad down, a mix of curiosity and unease swirling inside her. "So why are you here? A billionaire like you should be in a Manhattan penthouse or on a yacht in the Mediterranean, not in an unfinished villa with a random girl like me." Liam meets her gaze, his eyes deepening, as if her question has touched a place he rarely reveals. He stands, walking to the fireplace, where embers from last night still smolder. "Because sometimes all that glitz can't save a heart," he says, his voice low. "And because I've done my own kind of running, in my own way." Amelia stays silent, waiting. She senses he's weighing whether to open up. Finally, he turns back, sitting beside her, closer than usual. His warmth sends a shiver through her, but she doesn't pull away. "I was engaged once," he begins, his voice steady but laced with quiet pain. 4 years ago. Her name was Sophia. I thought she was everything. Smart, beautiful, the one I'd build a life with. But then," he pauses, staring into the fire, its glow reflecting in his eyes. "I found out she and my best friend Ethan were sneaking around behind my back. Not just once. They were in love, and I was the last to know." Amelia's heart tightens. She knows that pain, the betrayal that cuts through every shred of trust. What? What did you do?" she asks softly. Liam gives a faint, joyless smile. "I called off the engagement, cut them both out of my life. Then I threw myself into work, built the empire you read about. I became shameless, as you like to call it, so no one would see how much it hurt. But the truth is," he looks at her, his gaze so raw it steals her breath, "my heart never healed, not until I met you." She blinks, unsure she heard right. "Me? What do you mean?" Liam leans closer, his eyes locked on hers. "You, Amelia Hart. You ran out onto that highway in a torn wedding dress, with all that courage and pain. You reminded me life isn't just about hiding hurt. You made me want to believe in love again, even after I swore I never would. Amelia's face warms, her heart racing. His words are earnest, devoid of his usual playfulness, and that makes them both moving and terrifying. She wants to say something, but her throat tightens. Instead, she lowers her head, trying to hide the emotions surging within. You don't have to say that, she whispers. I'm just a mess. I'm not someone who can fix anything. Liam shakes his head, a sad smile flickering. You're not a mess. You're a survivor like me. And I think we could help each other heal, if you'd let us. She looks up, and for the first time, she truly sees him. Not Liam Grayson, billionaire or shameless flirt, but Liam, a man with a broken heart like hers. A wave of empathy surges through her, too strong to ignore. They're both betrayed, both left behind, now stitching together their shattered pieces. I thought James was everything, she says, her voice trembling. I planned a whole life with him. And Lily, she was the one I trusted most. When they betrayed me, I felt like I wasn't me anymore. But here, with you, she pauses, taking a deep breath. I'm starting to feel like I could come back, even just a little. Liam smiles, a gentle smile that makes her heart ache. That's enough, Amelia. A little at a time. We don't have to rush. They sit in silence, but the space between them is no longer tense. It's warm, like a quiet promise. Amelia realizes that, for the first time since fleeing, she doesn't feel alone. Liam understands her, not just through words, but through the pain they share. That night, under a silver moon casting light over the forest, they sit by a fire on the porch. The flames crackle, casting warm glows on their faces. Amelia hugs her knees, watching sparks drift into the sky, while Liam sits close, his shoulder near enough for her to feel his warmth. You know, he says, his voice low, I never thought I'd be here, sitting like this with a runaway bride in a house in the woods. But I don't regret a second of it. She smiles, looking at him. Neither do I, though I still think you're a little crazy for picking me up on the highway. He laughs, the sound ringing through the still night. Maybe I am, but I think... He pauses, gently taking her hand. His touch is warm, steady, and it sends her heart racing. Maybe fate put us together to fix our broken pieces. Amelia meets his gaze, the firelight dancing in his gray eyes, and she feels something new. Hope. It's fragile, but real. She doesn't squeeze his hand, but she doesn't pull away either. She just sits there, letting the moment linger, letting his words echo in her heart. Under the moonlight and fire glow, two broken hearts begin to find each other, one step at a time. The Vermont Forest Villa has become a true sanctuary for Amelia Hart over the past 2 weeks. The days spent with Liam Grayson, surrounded by birdsong, the scent of burning wood from the fireplace, and his shameless jokes have slowly mended the cracks in her heart. Every moment with him, from laughter-filled breakfasts to clumsy wall painting sessions to late-night talks by the fire, has made her feel alive again, bit by bit. But alongside the joy grows a mounting fear, a shadow of her past and insecurities that keep her from taking a step further. That morning, Amelia stands by the living room window, gazing at the lush forest bathed in early sunlight. She wears Liam's flannel shirt, sleeves rolled up, her auburn hair loosely tied back. Liam is outside on the porch, sawing logs to repair the fence, his strong yet relaxed figure clad in a gray t-shirt. She watches him, her heart aching with a feeling both sweet and painful. He's too good, too sincere, too gentle, too everything. And she, with all her broken pieces, feels unworthy. The night before, they sat by the fireplace talking about small things, favorite movies, foods they hate, childhood dreams. But when Amelia laughed at one of Liam's silly jokes, he fell silent, looking at her with a depth that stole her breath. Amelia, he said, his voice low and serious, devoid of his usual playfulness. Stay here, not for days or weeks. Stay forever, with me. She blinked, thinking she misheard. Forever, she echoed, her voice trembling. What are you saying? Liam leaned closer, his hand brushing hers warm and steady. I mean it. I don't want you to leave. I want to wake up every day and see you here, in this house, in my life. I, I love you, Amelia. His words were like a stone dropped into the still lake of her heart, sending ripples of chaos. She wanted to believe him, to throw herself into his arms and say she felt the same. But fear surged, stronger than the joy. He loved her. A billionaire like Liam Grayson, who could have anyone in the world, loved her, a poor girl from a small town with nothing but a broken heart and a scarred past. No, he didn't love her. He pitied her, wanted to save her, like he did when he picked her up on the highway. You don't have to say that, she whispered, pulling her hand away. You've already been too good to me. I'm not what you need. Liam frowned, his eyes filled with hurt. Amelia, what are you talking about? I'm not saying this out of pity. I'm saying it because I want you. Only you. She shook her head, tears welling. You're a billionaire, Liam. You have the world. I'm just an ordinary girl with nothing. No money, no career, not even a whole heart. You deserve someone better, stronger, someone who isn't me. Amelia, he began, but she was already on her feet, fleeing to her room, leaving him with pained eyes and words unspoken. That night, Amelia didn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the moonlight through the window, her heart torn between her feelings for Liam and her fear. She was falling for him. She knew it, even if she tried to deny it. But the gap between them was too vast. He was a billionaire, living in a world of skyscrapers and million-dollar deals. She was just a girl from Willow Creek, who once dreamed of a simple life with James, now left with only fragments. If she gave herself to this, if she let herself love him fully, what would happen when he realized she wasn't enough? When he left her, like James did? She couldn't survive another heartbreak. She wasn't strong enough. When the clock struck 2 a.m, Amelia made a terrible decision. She quietly sat up, grabbing a piece of paper from the small desk in her room. With trembling hands, she wrote, Dear Liam, thank you for saving me, not just on the highway, but every day since. You gave me a place to breathe, to laugh, to feel worthy. But you deserve someone better, stronger, someone who can stand as your equal. I'm not that person. I'm just a poor girl with too many scars. I don't want to hold you back with my broken pieces. Thank you for everything, Amelia. She folded the paper, tears streaming down her cheeks. She put on Liam's flannel shirt, the only thing she'd take besides the wedding dress folded in the corner of her room. She had no clear plan, but she knew she had to leave. Where didn't matter, as long as she didn't let Liam keep sacrificing for her. She crept downstairs, her bare feet silent on the wooden floor. The fire in the fireplace had died, leaving the house in cold darkness. She placed the letter on the dining table, where Liam would surely find it. Then, with a heavy heart, she opened the front door and stepped outside. The night wind wrapped around her, biting, but she didn't turn back. She walked down the trail toward the highway, not glancing at the villa where she'd found both joy and her greatest fear. The next morning, Liam woke with a sense of unease. The house was too quiet, missing Amelia's presence. The soft muttering as she tried to make coffee, the quiet laugh when he teased her. He walked to the kitchen, hoping to find her, but only saw the letter on the dining table, her trembling handwriting like a knife to his chest. He read it, each line piercing his heart. By the last sentence, he let out a laugh, a pained, choked sound that echoed in the empty kitchen. Foolish girl, he whispered, clutching the paper. You think I'll let you run away again? He stood, his eyes resolute. The letter might be Amelia's goodbye, but to him it was a challenge. He'd lost Sophia, let pain close his heart. But Amelia wasn't Sophia. She was the woman he loved, the one he'd fight to keep. Liam strode to his study, grabbing his phone and calling his assistant. I need you to find someone, he said, his voice firm. Amelia Hart. Start in Vermont, but she might have gone farther. Use every resource we have. I want to know where she is, as soon as possible. He hung up, looking out the window at the sprawling forest under the sunlight. Amelia might think she wasn't worthy, that she was just a poor girl with nothing. But to Liam, she was everything. She was the light in his darkest days, the reason he believed in love again. And he would find her, even if he had to turn the country upside down. He stepped onto the porch, gazing at the trail where Amelia had left. "This time, runaway bride," he said, his voice brimming with determination. "I'm not letting you go." The villa stood silent, as if waiting for their reunion. Liam turned back, beginning his search, with a heart both broken and full of hope. 3 weeks have passed since Amelia Hart left the Vermont Forest Villa, leaving behind a letter and an unfillable void in Liam Grayson's heart. 3 weeks, but for Liam, each day feels like a year. Her letter, with its trembling words about her unworthiness, urging him to find someone better, remains on his desk, creased from being read and reread. But instead of making him give up, it only fuels his resolve. He lost someone once before. This time, he won't let Amelia slip out of his life. Liam stands in his study at the villa, his gaze sharp on the laptop screen. He's mobilized every resource, his team of assistants, business connections, even private investigators. Amelia left no clear trail, no phone, no credit cards, no trace. But Liam isn't one to quit. He knows she's running, not just from him, but from her own wounds. And he'll find her, even if it means turning the country upside down. The first days of the search were nearly hopeless. Amelia didn't return to Willow Creek, didn't contact her mother or anyone she knew. Liam's assistants checked every hotel, motel, and bus station in Vermont, but found nothing. Liam spent hours reviewing traffic cameras near the highway where he met her, hoping for a clue about her direction. Each failure only hardened his determination. He barely slept, barely ate, focused solely on one goal: bringing Amelia back. A week later, a small lead emerged. An investigator reported that a woman matching Amelia's description, auburn hair, slender build, wearing an oversized flannel shirt, was spotted at a bus station in Burlington, Vermont. She bought a ticket with cash, heading south. Liam immediately expanded the search, focusing on small towns along the East Coast, where Amelia might seek a quiet refuge. He didn't know why he thought she'd choose the sea, perhaps because of her childhood stories, when she dreamed of the waves soothing her heart. Finally, on the 20th day, a call from his assistant brought a glimmer of hope. "We found her, sir." The man's voice crackled through the speaker. "A small town in Maine, called Port Haven. She's working as a waitress at a seaside cafe, the Blue Anchor. No ID, no real name, but the description matches perfectly." Liam gripped the phone, his heart pounding. "Is she okay?" he asked, his voice rough. "She seems okay, sir. She looks a bit sad." He hung up, not wasting a second. He grabbed his coat, slipping a small box into his pocket, a ring he'd chosen after reading Amelia's letter, a promise he wouldn't let her go again. He drove 6 hours straight from Vermont to Maine, not stopping, his mind fixed on the moment he'd see her. Port Haven is a picturesque small town with cobblestone streets, white-painted houses, and the sound of crashing waves. The Blue Anchor sits right by the coast, a cozy cafe with large windows facing the ocean. When Liam parks in front, the sun is nearing sunset, painting the sky a vibrant orange. He takes a deep breath, steps out, his heart racing like it might burst. He's waited for this moment, but now, standing before the cafe's wooden door, he feels as nervous as a boy on his first date. Inside, the air is warm with the aroma of roasted coffee and fresh bread. A few customers are scattered about, an elderly couple reading a newspaper, a man typing on a laptop, some tourists snapping photos of the sea through the windows. And then he sees her. Amelia stands behind the counter, wearing a navy blue waitress uniform, her auburn hair tied up, a few loose strands framing her face. She's carrying a tray of coffee, smiling at a customer, but the smile doesn't reach her eyes. Those eyes, which once lit up when she laughed with him at the villa, now carry a quiet sadness. She's thinner, her cheeks hollowed, but still beautiful. Beautiful in a way that makes Liam's heart ache. He stands at the door, unmoving, just watching her. Amelia seems to sense his gaze because she looks up, and for a moment, the world stops. Her eyes widen, the tray nearly slipping from her hands. She sets it down, her lips moving but no words coming out. Liam steps inside, each step deliberate, his eyes unwavering, as if nothing in the world could keep him from her. "Amelia," he says, his voice low but clear, resonating in the quiet cafe. Heads turn, curious eyes watching the tall man in a black suit, his gaze fixed on one person alone. She shakes her head, stepping back, her voice trembling. "Liam, why are you here? How did you find me?" He stops at the counter, just steps away. "You think I'd let you go that easily?" he says, a sad smile flickering. "I turned the country upside down to find you, Amelia Hart, and I'd do it again if I had to." She bites her lip, tears glistening in her eyes. "I told you in the letter, you deserve someone better. I'm not—" "Don't," he interrupts, his voice firm yet gentle. "Don't say you're not enough. You're everything I want. Not because I pity you, not because I want to save you, because I love you." Before her stunned eyes and the murmurs of the customers, Liam does the unthinkable. He drops to one knee right in the middle of the cafe, pulling the small box from his pocket. He opens it, revealing a simple yet exquisite silver ring, a single stone sparkling under the lights. "No deals, no conditions," he says, his voice ringing like a vow. "Just that I love you, Amelia. I want you with me, not because you're a runaway bride, not because you need a place to hide, but because you're you, with all your pieces, your smiles, your scars. I want it all. Marry me, please." Amelia covers her mouth, tears spilling over. She shakes her head, not in refusal but in disbelief. "Liam, you don't understand. I have nothing. I don't belong in your world." "Your world is my world," he says, never breaking eye contact. "Without you, everything I have, money, fame, the villa, means nothing. You're my home, Amelia." His words shatter the last wall in her heart. Amelia sobs, rushing around the counter, dropping to her knees before him and throwing herself into his arms. He holds her tightly, as if afraid she'll vanish again. She buries her face in his chest, tears soaking his shirt, while he whispers into her hair, "Don't leave me again, okay?" Around them, the cafe erupts in applause and cheers. The elderly couple smiles, the laptop man gives a thumbs up, and tourists snap photos of the moment. But for Amelia and Liam, the world narrows to just them. She looks up into his eyes, and for the first time she sees no fear, only love, raw and fierce. "I love you," she whispers, her voice choked. "I love you, Liam." He smiles, a radiant grin lighting his face. He slips the ring onto her finger, his hands trembling slightly. "So that's a yes, runaway bride?" She laughs through her tears, nodding. "Yes." They stand, still clinging to each other, oblivious to the curious stares and applause. The cafe manager, a middle-aged woman with a kind smile, steps forward, handing Amelia a tissue. "Take the rest of the day, sweetheart," she says, winking. "This guy doesn't look like he's letting you finish your shift." Amelia laughs, wiping her tears, and takes Liam's hand as they step outside. Port Haven's beach stretches before them, the sunset painting the horizon red, the waves crashing gently like a blessing. They stand there hand in hand, saying nothing, just feeling each other's presence. "I'm not running anymore," Amelia says, her voice soft but certain. Liam turns to her, his eyes tender. "Good, because I'd chase you anywhere." He pulls her into another embrace, whispering in her ear, "We sauced it, Vat. We're going to build a life together, Amelia. It doesn't have to be perfect, just us." Under the glowing sunset they stand, two once broken hearts now whole, promising never to part. This time they both know it's a vow they'll keep forever. The beach at Port Haven, Maine, glimmers under the sunset, the water reflecting vibrant shades of orange and pink. The gentle crash of waves blends with the lively chatter and laughter, creating a symphony of joy. Today, on this soft stretch of sand, Amelia Hart and Liam Grayson prepare to exchange vows. Not in a stifling church or lavish hall, but at the very place they found each other again, the sea which witnessed their love bloom from broken pieces. The wedding is simple, just as they wanted. A small wooden arch stands on the sand, adorned with white wildflowers and flowing silk ribbons dancing in the breeze. There are no hundreds of guests, no orchestra, no extravagant feast. Only their closest loved ones. Amelia's mother, Susan, her eyes shimmering with happy tears. A few of Liam's trusted friends from New York, who traveled hundreds of miles to witness this day. And Mary, the manager of the Blue Anchor Cafe, who became a dear friend to Amelia during her time working there. Amelia stands before the arch, her bare feet sinking into the cool sand. She wears a simple wedding dress, not as ornate as the one she wore in Willow Creek, but elegant and pure, its light silk hugging her form, the train fluttering in the sea breeze. Her auburn hair falls naturally, crowned with a delicate ring of wildflowers. She's no longer the trembling, desperate runaway bride. She's Amelia Hart, a woman who has found love in herself, ready to step into a new chapter. Across from her, Liam stands, breathtakingly handsome in a light gray suit. No tie, his shirt unbuttoned at the top for a relaxed air. His gray eyes lock on to her, blazing with love and pride. He smiles, a smile both tender and mischievous, that quickens Amelia's pulse. She recalls the moment he knelt in the cafe, declaring his love before the world. Now he's here again, not to save her, but to build a future with her. The officiant, a local pastor with a kind smile, begins a brief speech about love and commitment. But Amelia and Liam barely hear him. They're lost in each other, as if the world holds only them. When it's time for the vows, Liam takes her hands, his fingers intertwining with hers, warm and steady. "Amelia," he begins, his voice deep and resonant over the waves, "I thought love wasn't for me, that my heart was too shattered to mend. But then you appeared on that highway, in a torn wedding dress, with eyes full of pain. You showed me that love isn't about perfection, it's about healing together, growing together. I promise to stand by you through sunny days and storms, not just as the one who caught you running, but as the place you'll always want to return to." Tears glisten in Amelia's eyes, but she smiles, squeezing his hands. She takes a deep breath, her voice trembling but firm. "Liam, I thought I didn't deserve happiness, that I was just a girl with pieces too broken to fit. But you showed me I'm worthy, that I can love and be loved. You didn't just save me from a bad day, you gave me a new life. I promise to stay by your side, to love you and to build our dreams together." The small crowd claps, a few cheers rising from Liam's friends. The pastor smiles, announcing, "You may now kiss the bride." Liam doesn't wait a second. He pulls Amelia into his arms, kissing her deeply and tenderly, as if pouring his entire heart into it. She wraps her arms around his neck, feeling his warmth and love, as the sound clears throat while the waves and applause blend around them. When they part, he whispers, just for her, "You're mine. No more running, bride." She laughs, happy tears streaming. "And you're mine." The reception unfolds right on the beach, with simple wooden tables draped in white cloth, paper lanterns swaying overhead, and a local band playing soft acoustic melodies. Guests eat, laugh, and dance under the moonlight. Susan hugs Amelia tightly, whispering, "I've never seen you this happy, sweetheart. He's a good one." Amelia nods, eyes shining, knowing her mother is right. Liam and Amelia share their first dance on the sand, barefoot, hand in hand. He pulls her close, whispering silly jokes that make her laugh, but his eyes brim with love. "You know," he says, "I think I fell for you the moment you called me a serial killer on the highway." She glares playfully, unable to hide her smile. "And I fell for you when you dropped that egg in the kitchen and blamed me?" They laugh, and that moment, simple, real, is everything they've dreamed of. For their wedding night, they skip the luxury hotel or grand villa. Instead, they choose a small rented beach house nearby, its windows open to the ocean. In the softly lit room, with only a large bed and the distant sound of waves, Liam pulls Amelia close, his hand gently stroking her hair. They lie there, needing few words, just savoring each other's presence. "Amelia," he whispers, his voice warm and low, "I'm not just the guy who caught you running. I'm where you stay, forever." She looks up, her heart full. "And I've stayed," she says, placing her hand on his chest, feeling his steady heartbeat. "Right here with you." He kisses her forehead, a light touch carrying a world of meaning. They hold each other, lulled to sleep by the waves, knowing this is only the start of their journey. The next morning, they wake before dawn. They walk to the beach where the horizon shifts from deep purple to soft pink. They sit shoulder to shoulder on the sand, hands clasped, watching the waves roll in. Liam pulls a small ring from his pocket, not the wedding band from yesterday, but another simple silver with intricate engravings. He smiles, a hint of pride in his eyes. "I made this myself," he says. "Not a professional jeweler, but I wanted you to have something that's just ours." Amelia blinks, touched. He takes her hand, slipping the ring onto her finger beside her wedding band. It fits perfectly, as if made for her. "It's a symbol of our love," he says. "Not perfect, but eternal." She hugs him, tears of joy falling. "I love you, Liam. Thank you for never giving up on me." He pulls her closer, whispering, "Thank you for giving me a reason to fight." They sit, leaning into each other as the sun rises, its golden light spilling across the sea. The beach is serene, only the waves and their heartbeats blending. They need no more words. Their love speaks it all. True love isn't just a fated meeting, but a journey of healing wounds, overcoming fears, and building a future where both belong. Amelia and Liam, from two broken hearts, have found their haven, not because they're perfect, but because they choose to love each other every day, forever. The final image is them, side by side on the sand, the handmade ring glinting on Amelia's finger, a promise of eternity. The sea stretches before them, and the future, though unknown, is theirs together.